not the only major story from the White House today. It also includes the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, new allegations against former President Barack Obama. I do want to put up just this, the White House, one more time as I discuss this, as she appeared on Wednesday at the briefing to tout newly declassified intelligence that she alleged shows that former President Obama manipulated information and, quote, knowingly lied about Russian efforts to sway the 2016 election. Let's take you out to another Democrat here on the steps of Capitol Hill talking about those new allegations, those new revelations. Let's listen into this here on Live Now from Fox.
You know, to help elect Donald Trump. This is established fact. And, you know, Tulsi is trying, number one, to get back into the president's good graces, and number two, to distract from Epstein. You know, and there's a reason that these charges are getting no traction, which is because they're obviously disprovable. The whole thing is based on the notion that, you know, at the time, there was no belief that there was a technical intrusion into election infrastructure. That was true then, it's true now. But the very well documented attempts by the Russians to influence the 2016 election and to do it on behalf of Donald Trump are not really subject to debate, whatever Tulsi Gabbard says. The Nunes report, I remember when it came out, it was beyond flawed. So this is just an attempt to distract from Epstein. And the problem is it has really severe negative implications for the people of the intelligence community who know that these are lies and say, wait a minute, what am I doing here? If my agency, DNI, whatever it may be doing, is being used for the political for political purposes to support the president.
What do you make of Crawford putting this in the report when this was based on Russian intelligence, which they say was raw intelligence, but from a credible source?
Again, the facts, you know, John Durham, special prosecutor appointed by Donald Trump, issued a report and said the opposite of what Tulsi Gabbard is alleging. Marco Rubio, I'm not going to say it again, but the Senate produced a unanimous report. The facts are not really subject to debate anymore. Now, Rick Crawford says that, well, the Russians may have had information on Hillary's health that they didn't release. Maybe that's true, but it doesn't in any way compromise the conclusions that are well established about what the Russians did in 2016. Now, here's the test. Tulsi Gabbard has leveled one of the most serious charges against an American, much less an American president, ever. She accused the former American president of treason. I can't think of anything more serious. So here's the moment where we call the bluff. When will the charges be leveled? 5 days from now, I'm going to ask, when are those charges leveled? 10 days from now, when are those charges? When are we prosecuting President Obama? The answer is never, because there's not a court in the United States that will do anything that utterly laugh these contentions out of court. So that's the test. Don't take it from this Democrat. Is the DOJ going to charge President Obama? No, they're not, because every court in the land will laugh this premise out of their courts.
You mentioned Secretary Rubio. There are also several other senators on the Republican side who were part of that intelligence committee at the time. Do you expect, do you hope, are you calling for any of them to come out?
No, it's not my business to tell other senators what to do. It's my business to provide oversight of the intelligence community and to make sure the intelligence community is what it should be. When the Director of National Intelligence is lying about their work, criticizing them, remember there were many of rank and file people who worked on the ICA. She is making this country a lot less safe. I got to go vote.
Thank you.
All right, just listening in there to on the Democrat there, Himes out of Connecticut talking about this, the new information, the new allegations as the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, accusing former President Barack Obama of treason relating to the Russian interference in the 2016 election. All right, we're following it closely here on Live Now from Fox, and also want to note that coming up here in about 20 or so minutes, we're expecting to hear from President Trump himself, this at an AI, an artificial intelligence action plan, a summit there in our nation's capital. I'm Andy Mack. Let's sign away for a quick 2 minutes.